Hello everybody, University here. Welcome back to another video. Today this video, as just like yesterday's video, is going to be long, right? We have a day 2 enhanced risk of severe weather. We have a 10% enhanced tornado probability, a 15% non-sig wind, and a 30% sig hail probability. We have a big enhanced risk here, going over the three main plain states. Also, with a risk going mainly over there as well, gaining a little bit of Nebraska and a little bit of Colorado. The main threats, all hazards, but mainly tornado and a hail threat. It's still a little bit uncertain about some things, but I think we're getting some better information now as the models come to a little bit of a better agreement. We also have a day 3 slight risk of severe weather for a 15%, large 15% by the way, with a hash risk here all across eastern Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, and Arkansas, right? And also, we didn't stop there. No. We have wrong day. We have a day 4, 30%. I said this would be upgraded, right? The day 3 didn't, although I expected it. But the day 4 didn't. The 27th of April, we need to be looking at it. And also a day 5, 15% severe probability. So, pretty long stretch of severe weather. I think I'm going to actually start here with the. Let me see where they are here. The GFS and the Euro. So, I think that since the last video, I think you got the drill, like the general idea of what's going to happen. But just in case you forgot it, we have the strong again for the U.S. ejecting in the planes, 850 mil response. Crazy. Yes, very strong surface response. I didn't talk about the warm sector. The warm sector is very, very good. Moisture should be dense, right? It should be the moisture should be very deep, although this sound doesn't show it. Pretty capped as well, so that is very interesting. Surface-based cape. We have oh wait, why did I end? Okay. I'm not going to question it. Let me go back to the right date. Surface-based cape is pretty good. Pretty good. Around 2,500, 600s. Remember, this is the global model, so this is GFS. They are going to underdo cape probably a little bit. Convective inhibition, which is something that we need to look because although pretty much all convecting and alarm models are convecting, HRRR isn't. And I don't know why. Even the NAM is convecting. And her is HRRR, call it however you want to. Right? So, and also the AHI, relevant energy index, is pretty strong. Environment, the synodic feel of this setup is very good. I said before, SRH is going to be pretty strong. EHI is going to be pretty strong. We have strong shear. We have strong cape. But we are uncertain if storms are actually going to fire. And yeah, that's not an uncertainty that I'd like to have, because you normally want to know if the storms are actually going to fire. And if you don't know, you gotta get in a meh. And they're probably going to fire, right? And as they do, they are going to bring an all-hazard threat, especially tornadoes and very large hail. The tornado threat we would have a few strong to maybe intense tornadoes happening. I normally don't use that kind of wording because I'm not SPC forecaster, so I like to keep that messaging with them, but they said it themselves, so I'm just quoting them. But yeah, the general idea is the setup is pretty good. The 300 millibar winds, if I may say, they are very good. They are supporting a more how can I say it? A discrete supercell mode. But we are still unsure if we are going to convect or not, because the models are not showing us if they are going to convect at all. Now, I want to be very clear, right? First of all, it's very likely, not very likely, but it's probable, right? That we are going to have convection, robust convection, tornadoes, and very large hail. So I want to make this very clear. We're not talking about this probably won't completely bust, right? I've seen people on Discord and Twitter and formal group chats saying this is probably going to bust. find a little unlikely considering how many models are convecting. And yes, I know simulated reflectivity, you know the drill. It's a little bit bizarre. But we have so much agreement and like mainly one counterpoint, which is the HRRR. I find it a little bit bizarre too. Just completely disregard the rest and just fix it and just fix your view into the HRRR. Where's the Euro model? There you go. I wanted to go here. The 26th. Actually, the 25th. So, the Euro model is pretty much the same idea. The trough is a little bit slower. I need to make this very clear. The trough seems to be a little bit slower, right? The ejection, we're barely getting the ejection, like slightly there. So yeah, the trough does seem to be a little bit slower. I didn't really talk about it. 850 millimeter response. Actually, not as strong as I would expect, considering what we saw from the GFS. But the air global models in this range are almost useless. I'm just showing them just to show the general idea. The dew points, the moisture, comparing to the GFS, is way worse. Yeah, for some reason the Euro model is underdoing the moisture by far the margin. But now I want to take a little bit, just a little bit of a break and go to other website. I want to go to the College of DuPage website. Here we are. We are on the College of DuPage website, and I normally wouldn't use this website because I find a little bit like the view of it is just not very good. I don't like the color table of the models. But in this case, it's very good because finally we have a way to see CAPE in the Euro model for free. Thanks to all of the people in the College of DuPage website to be able to show it. And there you can see lots of instability there. Right, have 2,000, almost 3,000 near along the dry line. There, yes, I just like stopped in the middle of the video to change a website, and then I'm not going to use the rest of the video. So, yeah, but let's continue from here. Why not? The dew points, which we can finally also see here. Goodness gracious, thank you to the Call of Duty website. And yeah, it's pretty good. Not as amazing as I said before, a little bit like just not going to the north. I don't know why, but well, that's really fine. And yeah, that's the general idea. I don't have much to say because we still cannot see much from the Euro model, especially at this range. It's pretty useless from now on. Now let's go to the convecting allowing models. Let's go in order, right? From most important to least important. I have one here that is just it's going to be used in this one case, which is, to be more exact, the April 27 case, but we're going to talk about that later. So looking here at the NAM, right? 500 millimeter drop is a little bit faster. It looks a little bit faster than the GFS. Ejects faster, stronger as well, stronger ejection. 850 millimeter response is, well, NAM. The dew points are also pretty good. The surface response here, the surface moisture is way better than the other models. Let me get a sound in here. Let me see how the NAM is treating moisture depth. And goodness gracious, is wow. Okay, so moisture is not deep at all. Very shallow moisture. We've seen this trend since yesterday. I don't know what models are just underdoing the moisture that much. At least I think they are. And a pretty stout cap. Now, this is probably due to NAM and its cooling bias. So, I'm pretty sure that's it. That's not necessarily just this is a real data. Right? So, surface-based cape is pretty good, especially along Kansas, right? Especially along northern Texas Panhandle, western Oklahoma, and western Kansas. 3,000 joules per kilometer of cape just along the dry line. Pretty nice for severe weather. This down in here, I think, is a little shows a stronger situation now. Still a little bit capped, not as strong of a cap though, already a little bit weaker. Level outs rates are amazing, cape is amazing, shear is good, EHI is also pretty fine. Effective bulk shear around 53 is good. Photograph could do some work, is a little bit like square, but still fine. Not that big of an issue, honestly. I'm sorry for the break in the middle of the video. My lungs just gave up existing. Now we are back. So the photograph you can see right here is just a little bit like square. It's not that good, but still very sufficient. You can see 195 matches for 6 severe hail with this sounding. So yeah, pretty hail. Up to 4.75 inches in diameter. Wow. And also we have a few matches from other supercells. 2 sig, some non pretty much the rest. And yeah, that's the general idea. Then of the NAM. Let me show you convective inhibition along the dry line. And just really along the dry line is not that bad, but anything anywhere else is a little bit difficult. Interestingly enough, the NAM, the 3 kilometer NAM, shows some sort of convection. And I'm going to go zoom in very quick. It shows some sort of convection, although for some reason very linear, but it quickly dies out. This is something that we'll probably need to wait to know, maybe till the time of the day of the event, and when we start actually having surface observations and soundings and all that. But yeah, as of right now, we don't know much. But the general idea, that is it. That is the general idea of the NAM 3 kilometers. And goodness gracious, what the hell is this? 500 meters squared of second squared of sorry, yeah, sounding itself is pretty contaminated. Next one that I want to show is our good friend H-R. And the H-R, to be fair, is not helping my case at all. 500 millibars it's pretty much the same thing. I don't think I should have showed it at all. 500 millibars is good. 800, strong response, all of that. The dew points are also wow, pretty good. Not an amazing NAM, no, pretty good. And why are the dew points that a little bit weaker, like 5 degrees? That's already a lot. The general idea is because of the sorry, because of the overmixing bias that the H-R has. If you see right here, yeah, that doesn't look like a good sounding, honestly. But the general idea is the H-R likes to mix. So it mixes the dry air in the atmosphere with the wetter, more moist air in the surface or near the surface, which lowers the dew points a little bit and normally doesn't even help that much at all the moisture in the atmosphere. In this case, that's what it's doing. It's over mixing. Pretty much all models, even the NAM had stronger and more deep moisture. So that's something that I think we should discuss here from the H-R. H-R really hasn't been well the last few weather events. Surface-based cape, you know the drill. Pretty strong as well. 3,000 just along the dry line and almost 350. 3,500, not 350. Just joules per kilometer of cape, goodness gracious, near Kansas. So let's look at convective inhibition in the surface, and not that good for surface development, for the development of supercells. I mean, the H-R is really making it difficult for these cells to pop. The best chance is probably going to be in Kansas, honestly. Yeah, there's already better. A little bit of a gap in surface levels, but honestly, just more moisture, honestly. So yeah, that is the general idea. Let me look at the SRH for multiplicity, and yeah, pretty strong just along the dry line. STP for the level of the STP, and now you have 2 areas here just along here, Kansas, and 1 just along the dry line here in Texas and Oklahoma. And yeah, the H-R just doesn't convect. That's funny. I guess it tries to convect near the dry line, but just becomes a mess. And yeah, the H-R just doesn't like convecting at all, which is, I guess, weird. Well, we are done with the H-R. Let's go to the crazy stuff. Let's go to the more bizarre models. For some reason, the RFS just gave up existing today, so we are looking at this. Let me look actually through the RFS because yeah, it just gave up existing. So the general idea, I think it's pretty clear. You know, 500 number trough, a little bit slower with the RFS. 850 millibar response is still pretty strong. The dew points are more, yeah. They, as I said before, they will be stronger than the her, because it's not over mixing. Let me look real quick here into surface-based cape, and yep, wow, almost 4,000 there in Kansas, but general blob here of 3,000 just along the dry lines. Yeah, lots of instability. The air is very unstable. EHI, wow, that is some high ass EHI. SRH is also going to be not as strong as I expected it, but mainly kept on the dry line, so not going to do. It was going to be very limited in the dry line. Let me show convective inhibition, and yeah, it makes sense why it's convective. And now I'm going to look at the reflectivity, and as I said before, I want to make this very clear, the RFS is a supercell machine, and y'all will understand why. We have just a single cell just along the dry line using all of the environment for it. So yeah, it's the first model that, I mean, the NAM also convected, but this is the first model that really convected. 6Z RFS is also convecting, mainly on Kansas and leaving Texas and Oklahoma, almost alone, honestly. It's almost sad, honestly. And yeah, that's the general idea. Europe Connect is crazy. And I want to go to the last model of this first weather, of the first day of severe weather, which is the FV3, just because it handles these dryline events better than the other camps. And you can see it convects like crazy. Look at these soups. Look at these super cells. So beautiful. So isolated. And this would be, of course, a worst case scenario with multiple discrete supercells. Yesterday looked worse. I want to make it very clear, but this is already a pretty bad case scenario. Although now it's having difficulties on like convecting mainly in the Oklahoma and Texas. No, it's probably going to do it anyway because it's FV3 and likes convex flow. So yeah, that's the general idea. All models are hinting at a very good synoptic environment with questions in the thermodynamics and about the cap and about the forcing. So I guess we'll just need to know. It's something that we'll just discover at the day of the event, which is tomorrow. Wow. So back here on the GFS, and I want to talk now about the next day. I'll talk about the 27th. Not much has changed on the models. So on the 27th, you can still see the trough ejecting through. Do you see the trough? The surface response is something that it's insane. I'm not even going to like keep the words. They are insane. They're very good. It's 850 hour response. Dew points are not amazing, but not negligible. For this area here at the time of the year, it's still pretty fine. Cape is okay, decent, not negligible. Probably going to be better as we look into the camps. The SRH is wow, as I expect from that surface response. Ooh, that sounding okay. That sounding is really good to show the differences from. Why is the okay then? Okay, so I'm just taking something here very quick. I'm not going to cherry pick or anything. I want to show this the lower levels of the atmosphere very quick because they show clearly what the big difference between Thursday and Friday. Look at how deep the moisture goes. Like it's going up to 850 millibars, almost like 100 millibars. No issues at all. It's fine, and it's doing it. So that's already. Also the shears. Also the shears pretty strong. Let me continue here with the HI real quick, just to show it's also pretty strong. I did expect to see today, and I thought it was weird that the SPC didn't have 30% enhanced risk on day 3, because this looks like a very robust CV weather. Less fail modes, although the level lapse rates could be better, but less fail modes than like Thursday setup, if I may say. And yeah, just in general, more consistent setup, still the same potential for all hazards, possibly a strong tornado or two. So let's go to the Euro model. So obviously Euro, the College of DuPage website is still not on. I want to get here 21C. You can see the trough ejecting, right? Mainly in eastern Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, getting into Iowa. 850 millibar response is pretty good. That's why I don't normally use it. It's so there's so much information on the screen. I like it, but okay. The viewpoints are also pretty decent, although not getting as much into Iowa. For some reason, the Euro model has been very, very weak with viewpoints. You're going to see that as well on the Thursdays have. Convective surface-based cape is also pretty okay, around 2000 just along the dry line, but not a lot in. For some reason, they're going in Iowa than there is in Missouri and Arkansas. Okie dokie, then. If you say it, okay. So let's look here. Let's go back to. I lost all the models that I had. Okie dokie. So, let's start here with the NAM. Actually, I don't think I'm going to go with NAM 3 kilometers. I think I'm going to go with normal NAM because NAM 3 kilometers at this range is sad, not gonna lie. So, I want to change the region. I want to go into Ohio River Valley. I think is the best place for us to look. And you can see the trough ejection is pretty, it is not amazing, but still pretty strong. 850 millibar response is NAM. So yeah, that's the general idea. 850 mil response, NAM. Moisture, pretty similar, more similar with the, let me go national here, just to give y'all a better look. But the dew points, the moisture response is actually more similar to the GFS. So it looks like the Euro is pretty much in the like the blind spot of the recent something. Cape is pretty strong, way better already on the NAM than it was on the GFS 2000s, just barely along the dryland, just across the entire dryland, and 3000 almost here in Texas and Oklahoma. So, let me look at the SRH. As I expect, it's going to be pretty strong. Goodness gracious, I didn't think it was that strong. Let me take a sound in here in Arkansas, and wow. The low level lapse rates are pretty bad, and Cape is also pretty bad. Maybe if I get more along the dry line. In Oklahoma, and the very deep moist layer, low level lapse rates very good. Photograph could do some work, but it's pretty fine. And the shear is very, very strong. The shear is strong. That is a strong shear. STP with the convective inhibition is 4.6, pretty high as well. 3 cape and cape is also pretty high. I don't see how that sounding is on ES2. Considering how many these are, soundings are PDS stored, this should as well be. But okay, I'm not going to question it. It is Sharpie Pi. So not going to demand anything of it. STP is going to be pretty hard, pretty high, not pretty hard. Mainly across Oklahoma and also Arkansas and Missouri. Let me take something here from Missouri, and that is some dry air. A little bit too dry in effect because it just left the entire. Okay, but the rest is pretty fine. Shear is pretty good. Cape is fine. Yeah, that's the general idea of it. I would honestly don't have many models to show, just because of they don't go that far. So yeah, we're going to just keep with that and go on our way. Maybe the HRW and goodness gracious, what? Okay. The HRW is just showing a catastrophe. Pretty fine. And with that environment, look at how many supercells it's depicting. Okay, I'm not trusting this one. Like, what is that? What is the cape near these? Okay, it's pretty negligible. But wow, that is a run to put like together with the May 20th, 2019 H2R Tennessee H2R one. Wow, that is wow. Okay, so now I'm going to mainly cross almost every single model. Yeah, we have the sufficient. So actually, I need to have also SREF and I think gifts. So okay, and now we need to talk about day 4. And well, and why are you opening so many of these many soundings, these many models? You only want like one or two, because the situation on the 27 is very very significant. And I'm not going to like keep words. I'm going to use the manual words. But honestly, this is a very significant situation. The way that the 27 looks right now looks to be one of the most significant planes outbreaks of like uh probably the most significant outbreak on the planet since like 2019. I think so. Probably like the highest danger the plane have been since March since 2019, honestly. So let's look at the trough. And with the trough, I think you already get what am I saying, right? Very negative to the, and I'm going to start sounding like Convective Chronicles with how many times I say textbook, and if you want to count it, you're free to. But this is a textbook negative to the trough. This looks like major tornado outbreaks. Like if you look at significant tornado outbreaks, like in the plains and the Dixie, in the Midwest, they are going to look something like that. So this trough very negative to the strong ejection, right? 850 millibar response is also pretty good. Not as beautiful as it. Okay, never mind. It's as beautiful as it showed. Never mind. So let's look at the dew points. And wow, very strong moisture action here. 67s, maybe 70s. If we're going to look at an AM later, but probably are going to be. This is just global model. This could actually end up being just global models under dewy moisture. Let me look here. A surface-based cape, and the surface-based cape on the GFS is pretty sufficient. 2000, 3000. Remember, we are the GFS. We are global models. The global model, and this is already pretty strong. SRH, the shear measurement is also not as amazing, but still pretty strong. Bulk shear, very sufficient. Let me get a sounding here. Let me go to the dew point. I want to take a sounding along the dry line here in Kent and Oklahoma. And I want to convective inhibition. Well, fortunate time I can look at the convective inhibition, and these are mainly because the storms have already popped. Right? Let me look 1 hour before, and oh wow, okay. SRH is not that strong, mainly global model stuff, but Cape is very high. Wow, 3400, 3400. Low level apps rates, pretty good as well. So now I'm going to go into possibly the most bizarre stuff that I ever thought I would need to actually put in a video, because I've seen people on Twitter talk about it and just say that Friday is looking better than Saturday. Uh, Chasing mice. First of all, how do you say that a event in the Midwest, the train here is shit, like Arkansas, Missouri, the train there is terrible. But okay, let me compose myself here. And why were they saying that, Eugenio? You may ask, like, of course they have more knowledge than you. Why are you disagreeing with them? So, first of all, I want to go here in the dew points on, and I'm actually looking at an AM. I didn't even plan to look at an AM. I want to go back to the what the? Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button, man. I was closing the. God, sorry. So, I want to go here to the Euro and look at viewpoints, right? We'll go forward, moisture action, moisture action, moisture action, moisture action. Okay, I want to stop here. And the first argument, honestly, I cannot even see it that much. But yeah, you see a little bit of like this. The general warm sector is not as impressive as shown by the GFS, and honestly, I don't know why. It's probably Euro model, Euro bias, because it literally makes no sense. Why are you weak? Like, and also one thing that I want to point out is surface-based tape is also not amazing, right? We have maybe 2000s, but pretty much there, and pretty much it. So, why is this the case? Why is the euro like, oh no, yes, global model, but why is it so low on decay? The euro model is seeing a lot of morning convection, inhibiting more further destabilization of the atmosphere, and also bringing in a cap. Boy, uh, and I've seen people on Twitter just say that, wow, yeah, that ain't not that. It's a complete bad event, very. But no, I don't want to downplay this. This is a very significant situation. I want to make it very clear that the 27 could be one of the higher end events we had on the plane specifically since May 20th, like synodic wise. May 20th didn't end up performing as we expected. Convective Chronicles in a way on it. Yes, it's an hour long, but you should see it and you should watch it because it's a very good video. And let me look here just a little bit. Surface and precipitation and cloud cover, the GFS, right? And yeah, you can say, well, but that makes sense, right? Lots of cloud cover. Well, there's a reason for it. No one looks at GFS for cloud cover. Actually, if I go a little bit better into 18Z, which is a little bit before time of when is the time that the atmosphere will actually be destabilizing, you can see that we have a pretty big area here of Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas that it's pretty much clear, like a little bit here in southern Kansas. But, like, yeah, it looks pretty good. And now I want to say there is a reason we don't look at global models generally for cloud cover, right? If you remember from the eclipse and all the forecasting before it, we didn't actually have a good answer to cloud cover like just 2 days maybe before the eclipse actually happened, because we were waiting for this. Actually, this is the RDPS, proven many times to be the best model to forecast cloud cover. Like general, the general models, Canadian models in general, are very good at forecasting cloud cover. The GDPS and the RDPS, which is the lower range. So, and you may ask, what is the GRPS showing? Let me go here into 18Z. And it's showing probably the worst case scenario. We have a clear, right? Remember, more whites, clearer air, clearer skies. Look at that. Western Texas, Western Oklahoma, pretty much all the state of Kansas. It's free. It's completely clear, and it has the time and the surface the heating to destabilize. And we can see that very clearly on the RDPS. Look at how strong the cape is. Almost 4,000 near Oklahoma, 3,000 in Kansas, 4,000 in Texas. So, and now, okay, but okay, it's like one model against, like 2 models against 1 model. It's Euro against the GFS and RDPS. Not enough proof. Okay, let's look at the ensembles now. Actually, let me look before at the global model, the global Canadian model. Let's look here at the cloud cover. 84, which is the time that's, and yeah. Actually a little bit before, let me look at 18Z, and we have pretty clear skies. So it doesn't look like it's like 84-hour RDPS doing like just like the NAM, which is crazy. I'm going to talk about the NAM run in a little bit. So yeah, it makes sense. Both Canadian models are green. The GFS is green. 301. Next one, GIFs. Actually, there is the SREF, which is a very good and simple model, right? It's pretty good for these types of cloud cover things. Let's look here. Here, 15Z, which is the most recent one we have. And let me look. I'm looking at 21Z, 18Z, and although it doesn't look like as good as the other one showed, it's still pretty decent. Like we have 20%, 30%, which, although it will not favor like the view of an eclipse, is already more than sufficient for the destabilization of the atmosphere, and well, and not a strong enough cap. Good. So we are 4-1. Last one. Yes, the ensemble of the GFS. Let's look here. Surface and precipitation, cloud cover, 84. Well, this is after the initiation has already started. Let me look at 18Z. And the GFS is also showing you a bit, pretty much the same scenario. Lots of cloud cover. Well, let me correct myself. Almost no cloud cover. A little bit like just general clouds, a little cumulus clouds. But in general, we have a pretty open skies, which is already going to be more than sufficient for the destabilization of the atmosphere. If you want more, let's look more. CMC, the symbol of the Canadian model. Boom. Pretty much clear. Almost no clouds by 18Z. Next one. EPS. Let's look at the symbol of the actual Euro model. Right? Actually, never mind. I cannot look at that. Oh, I hate looking at the Euro model. Goodness gracious. Okay, maybe I can EPS. Nope. Okay, let's look at other deterministic models. Let's look at Icon, another model that is generally known to be good for these types of setups. Pretty bad. Icon is. Oh, you came out. I'm sorry. And we can look. Oh gosh, man. I think you got my point. Almost no models agree with the Euro model. But one that does agree is the 84-hour NAM. And why am I saying that's like, shouldn't that be a bad thing? Like, it's a convecting allowing model, it's a close range model, it should be able to do it. There's a reason we don't trust 84-hour NAM. And honestly, 18Z NAM is not even that bad. It's already sufficient, good enough for sufficient stabilization, although not as sufficient. But honestly, I think you saw that on Twitter. The NAM is showing one of the most bizarre situations I've ever seen, and I'm not going to buy it because it's 84-hour NAM. Okay, and that's something that I said to a man on Twitter, in my personal account, right? Yes, we were saying that Friday was better than Saturday for chasing, and you can say maybe like, yes, there's going to be a lot of chaser convergence. It's normal for that time of year, and the terrain, because it's a very good terrain. But it's saying that the morning convection would pretty much kill the event, which would make the roof of the event pretty much very low. But that's only supported by one model, and it's a bold claim. When we have an event with that high of a ceiling, like we see here on an AM, although it's an AM, yes, I know it's an AM, but when we have an event with that high of a ceiling, we cannot have like that sort of opinions that are not correct. Look at the convective inhibition; it's almost clear compared to what we have on the 25th. So I'm ending this video here with a note. The 27th could be one of the most significant severe weather outbreaks we've had on the plains for a big while. And I want you to pay attention. For only me, commenting, talk whatever you want on chat, on comments. I'm more than open to answer questions. But honestly, this is a fair situation. But honestly, I don't. And I'm more than open to discussing on the comments, okay? If I'm missing something, let me clear. I just cut this part out of the video, or just the video. But that's the general way. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Y'all that are on today under as high risk, 15 sig, hail in Texas. For the people that are going to be under the gun tomorrow in Oklahoma, Texas, in Kansas, and the rest of the people. Please be safe. Get your, if you have a NOAA radio station, perfect. Have a way to receive watches and warnings, and I'll see you possibly tomorrow or Friday with more updates. See ya.